Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
No, stop. That meat might be Rudy.
Yeah. This is episode...
Spoon down, Bill.
Yeah. This is episode 271, recorded November 9th, 2024.
Gruesome Magazine.
Perfect timing.
Yep.
You'll never get that taste out of your mouth now.
Nope.
All right. I am your host, Jeff Mohr. This podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts, Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, and Chad Hunt, and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. Joining me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, actress and YouTuber. How you doing, Crystal?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm fine. That didn't sound right.
Okay, wait. What is your hat? Because I was meaning to ask, but I forgot.
It's a secret organization that, our motto is
You want fries with that?
Three can keep a secret if two are dead. That's
Uh-oh.
No,
That sounds cool.
It's a university thing.
It's neat.
It
I
refers to the first Iowa State University black football player, which was around 1920. And he died in his first football game from injuries in his first football game.
Wow.
And this emblem was on the jerseys at that time.
So
this
cool.
It's now called, our football stadium is Jack Trice Stadium. That was his name. And all of the, they have, all the players have that on their helmets and their
It's cool looking.
shoulders.
It's like it's a nice, simple, cool
nice
design. Yeah.
It's
I like it.
It's called the 5 Bars, and it's not McDonald's French fries. Although I do have a red, red and gold one. I do have this one too.
Okay, then it would have definitely been. Yeah, those actually look like French fries too.
So anyway, yes, that's it, Crystal. You missed it. I explained this once to Doc and Chad and Bill once on 70s, or maybe it was classic era or something.
Oh, really? Well,
they're giving me crap about McDonald's. So
I think I made the same joke.
Yeah.
Also joining us is Chad Hunt, comic book artist, co-host of Decades for the Classic Era and the 1970s. How you doing, Chad?
I'm grossed out.
What?
I'm grossed out.
From what movie did you watch? Oh, okay. And last but not least,
Pride and Prejudice. Yeah.
Yeah. Meet the Zombies. Is that one? Something like that. Also joining us is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, co-host of Decades of Horror, the 1970s, published author, and all-around nice guy. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing fine. And I want to tell the viewers, definitely go check out Crystal's YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you.
Gothic Cottage, correct?
And yeah, it's just under my name. So
okay. And specifically, the whole bunch of good stuff. You got to check out her video of her little Halloween town that she has in her basement.
That's Bill's favorite.
It is the most awesome thing, and she did a great job photographing it. And just you'd have to see it in person, but this gives you a real flavor of it. And I wish someone, if Elon Musk wants to spend his billions on something useful, build this town, make this an actual amusement park, and I will be there. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so you need to check that out. But I would also encourage people to check out Ralph Miller's Halloween videos.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
There's one on Facebook. I don't know if he's got this year up on the YouTube or not, but search Dragon Vein Cove.
Oh yeah.
Like a weather vein, Dragon
Terrific
Vein Cove. Well, he's got a pirate theme, and the thing that I thought was neat is he's got this cool little rig up where there's a skeleton dog and a skeleton pirate, and they're pulling a treasure chest back and forth. It's like a tug of war.
Awesome.
And then when the thing's all done, he opens the lid up and shows you the mechanism. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yes.
And on one of the older ones, it shows you the mechanism that didn't work. And then he came back with a new one. I love that stuff. So check Ralph out. You know, he's on here fairly frequently.
Yeah.
All right. What are we doing tonight? We are partnering with Play Now Media, and you should check out their channels because they've all been upgraded or updated. Decades of Horror of the 1980s is on the Wicked Horror TV channel. And
you sure? Because you don't sound too.
Well, take me a minute. It's also on the Retro Horror movie channel, which is 70s, 80s, and 90s, but that's only available on Fire TV and Roku. They don't have it on a website or Apple functions yet for some reason, but I love the Retro Horror one. That's a good one too. So, and they give you lots of options for subscribing. You can not subscribe at all. Just go on there and watch stuff, and you'll get ads. And then if you want to subscribe, just give them an email address and make a username. Then it'll remember where you're at, or you can save things to a list, but you'll still get ads. That's free. Or you could pay a monthly fee or an annual fee, which is, I think it's about 20% less, maybe 25, than paying by the month. And you'll not have any ads.
Yay.
I just watched 2 movies this afternoon on the classic sci-fi movie channel. One was The Atomic Submarine.
Oh, I like that one.
And that's actually not bad. And then, God, what the hell was the other one? Teenagers Against the Thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't believe you got through that.
And that was, I was doing other stuff. But what a mess. It's more like a college.
We got to do that sometime. I guess that'd be classic era.
Yeah,
well, it's hard to say. That movie has like elements from like 3 different decades.
Yeah.
It's awful. Terrible.
And
compelling.
Nothing like any other movie that has the title of the thing in it. All right.
Nothing like any other movie.
So on this podcast, we start by giving some basic details of the film we are covering, followed by each of our first impressions of the movie. And then we'll move into a general discussion of whatever trips our trigger, hopefully, but not necessarily related to the movie. Our topic, Cannibal Ferox from 1981. And those are the 2 leading ladies in I don't know what that thing was, a big mound that was hollowed out, and they were kept captive in there. Written and directed by Umberto Lenzi. The cast includes Lorraine de Selle, John Morghen, who's actually Giovanni Lombardo Radice, Bryan Redford, who's actually Danilo Mattei, Zora Kerova, Walter Lloyd, who's actually Walter Lucchini, Meg Fleming, who's actually Fiamma Maglione, and Robert Kerman. Production companies Dania Film and Medusa Distribuzione and National Cinematografica. Filming locations in Colombia and New York City. And I don't know, IMDb says some in the studio in Rome. So not sure about that. Maybe some interiors. Release date, April 24th, 1981 in Italy. September 23rd, 1983 in New York City, and November 11th, 1983 in the rest of the U.S. Domestic box office was the Spanish peseta, 24 million. I got no idea what that's worth. I just looked and looked, couldn't find a good translation. But that would be only in Spain. And the synopsis, 3 friends set out to disprove cannibalism on a trip to the Amazonian jungle, where they meet 2 men trying to escape a vicious cannibal tribe.
Oh, how ironic.
That sort of gives it away, doesn't it?
Yeah. So much for that thesis.
Yeah.
And we've only done this once before, but I feel like this is necessary. This is shown at the beginning of the film. Warning. The following feature is one of the most violent films ever made. There are at least 24 scenes of barbaric torture and sadistic cruelty graphically shown. If the presentation of disgusting and repulsive subject matter upsets you, please do not view this film.
Okay.
So this is what you saw if you were in the
actually
theater.
like disgusting and repulsive subject.
Yeah, you know, you're in the theater and they put this up and you have a choice. You either have given permission to be disgusted and repulsed, or like the world's greatest wuss, you have to stand up and work your way out and do the walk of shame back out, you know, and with all the folks hooting and hollering and throwing popcorn at you.
Well, it's now time for our first impressions, and surprise, surprise, this was Bill Mulligan's pick. So he goes first.
You son of a bitch.
You know, we've been doing classy movies and stuff. I thought it was time to get our hands dirty again.
It's a palate cleanser.
You know, I don't know. I still got the taste of Rudy in my mouth. Okay, so the cannibal genre is not one of my favorites, but it is an important one, and it's a fascinating one. It's the one that is the most censored, the one that has gotten the most grief, and really didn't last very long. We're just talking a couple of years that it flowered, reached its pinnacle with Cannibal Holocaust, and died. And unfortunately, the first one I saw was Cannibal Holocaust, which is the only one that has any redeeming social value, if indeed it has any at all, which is debatable. And it's downhill from that point on. But then I had to go watch the others. And this one, it's got all the things I hate about cannibal movies, which is mostly animal torture and bad acting. And it just feels a little second rate compared to Cannibal Holocaust. That being said, it's probably maybe the second or third best of the bunch, which tells you something. It is what it is. It is exactly what it claims to be. They even gave you the disclaimer. You got no excuse. The poster is absolutely lurid. It was shown in America under the title "Make Them Die Slowly," which is, I mean, come on, you get what you deserve when you go to see a movie called "Make Them Die Slowly." You know, so what? I don't give a As horror movie fans, we accept the fact that most of the people, most of the protagonists in the films that we love, make foolish choices. But these people are imbeciles. They're absolute idiots. They're trying to disprove that there are cannibals by going out in the jungle and looking for cannibals, under the assumption, I guess, that if you don't find any, you can go back and write your dissertation. It's like, yeah, we looked for cannibals, couldn't find any. It's like, I don't think that's really how it works. They very quickly get lost, and you know, they get that moment where, should we turn back or should we keep walking into the jungle, which we clearly are unprepared for because we thought we could just drive a Jeep into it. And they, of course, make the choice to keep on going. And then they almost immediately run into people who have been badly injured and are being chased by cannibals. And at that point, you're like, my hypothesis has been disproven. Let's head back to civilization. But no, they decide to keep on going to the village of the cannibals. And then things go badly for them. And I don't know how much sympathy I'm expected to have here. You know, they're not the most likable characters, especially John Morghen, who's one of the most repellent characters. What little enjoyment I got from this film was watching this guy go have one of the worst endings ever. It's just they just keep cutting off parts of this guy, and parts that he probably really liked, until finally they decide, well, I think we've humiliated him enough. Let's do the old Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom monkey brain treatment.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is. If you are looking for a sleazy grindhouse classic, this one will entertain you. I mean, I wasn't not entertained. I couldn't turn away, much like watching a clown car get hit by a train. I'm just going to keep pulling body after body after body after body out for hours, you know, and it kept me interested, but it's a piece of crap, but an entertaining piece of crap, I thought. But maybe that says a lot about me. I will slink away in shame now and let somebody else speak.
Go forth
All
into
right.
the night, Bill.
I'm going to
Ew.
save Crystal for next, but we'll do Chad now. What did you think of Cannibal Ferox, and had you seen this before?
Had not seen this before. The limit to my cannibal movie repertoire is Cannibal Holocaust, and after that, I was not interested in seeing any more cannibal movies. And this one kind of cemented that. I hated this movie so bad, and it's just the I don't know. It's just I don't want to sound snooty when I say this, but this is trash. I mean, this is exploitative trash, and but you know, I don't like gore for gore's sake. You know, I want it to have some kind. And this movie was made just as an excuse to show people getting eaten, and I get that. I know there's people out there that like cannibal movies, and that's cool with me. It's just that I don't care for all the animals in this. I can't watch that, and you know, and I'll never insult someone by telling them to eat a dick in my entire life after this ever again.
Why? It's the best. That's still fun.
Are you kidding? I still can't walk with my knees more than 2 inches apart after watching it. But yeah, this was not my cup of tea. The dumb characters, the oh my gosh, the engine's blown. Just for getting stuck in a mud hole. The engine's blown. We gotta walk. You know. No, it's just 2 and 2 didn't add up to 4 in this, and it's just not my cup of tea at all.
They should have had you do the dubbing. You were better.
Yeah, they should have. I probably would have changed the whole dialogue of the movie. But yeah, it's not for me. No.
All righty. Crystal, I'm dying to hear.
I ate it up with a spoon.
Okay, well, so I will tell you, this is my first time seeing it. I'd never seen it before. And okay, so there's a lot of thoughts here that I need to kind of explain and get out. I liked the movie, obviously. But I am totally with Chad. I mean, I also liked Cannibal Holocaust, but I hated what happened in Cannibal Holocaust. I hated that the poor turtle and stuff, and that this is no different. And that's why, as I started watching this, I thought, is this a remake? Are they trying to be Cannibal Holocaust? Because honestly, I saw a lot of the same things that I didn't like in Cannibal Holocaust in this film. And I was like, that's weird. I didn't actually do any research on it. I knew that they would. So I was like, I'll just hear it when we do the podcast, you know, as to all the backstory and stuff. Like I said, with Cannibal Holocaust, I that would never be made now. I cannot, you know, condone any of the stuff that they did. Obviously, it's awful, but I can contextualize it. And I can do the same with this film, especially now that I know that they were made at about the same time and they were competing. And so those were some weird times. Those were some weird times because some of the stuff that they let go on is just really wild. I will say that, yes, the characters are dumb. Yes, it's weird and wild. And let me tell you, the synopsis is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, because the film starts off and the tribe, the native people are really sweet and kind and wonderful, and you're like, oh, they're not cannibals. There's no issue. And of course, in the synopsis, they give it all away, so that's unfortunate. But really, it isn't until the people become such pieces of poop, you know, that once again, much like Cannibal Holocaust, where the people were, you know, or the invaders are worse than, you know, but they get a comeuppance, as it were. And I did like some of the gore. I found it very interesting and kind of funny. Some of it's funny. I mean, what happened to him was fair because he did the same thing to that other dude.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of, you know, underhandedness here and stuff, which kind of worked because I had no idea what I was in for. So I didn't see it coming, to be completely honest with you. The way it ended was kind of wild. I guess I'm glad that there's a final girl and she made it out, but I think it would have been kind of funny to show her like eating people or something. Maybe she also became like this, that kind of rubbed off on her. I don't know. I would not recommend this film, don't get me wrong. I would say that most people will not enjoy it. I did find it entertaining. And like Bill, I could not take my eyes off of it because I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
What the heck am I watching here? It was just wild how much it really felt like Cannibal Holocaust. And it's wild that these, as they're going to apparently discuss, like that they actually created a very similar film, except one is found footage and one is not.
Right.
To me, that's pretty wild. There's some discrepancies and differences, but really it felt like I was watching Cannibal Holocaust again. And that was kind of trippy for me. But yeah, I did find it entertaining. So yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, the very first comment I had is as I listened to this, and I watched it twice because we had this.
Oh wow! Of course you did.
Wow.
Of course you
On
did.
the
We had
Blu-ray.
it scheduled 11 days ago, I think, or 10
That's
days
true.
ago, and I really couldn't remember it. I did not buy the Blu-ray, although there is a Blu-ray available from Grindhouse Releasing, which is
Wow.
the appropriate label for that.
Mhm.
The first thing I thought was the music. All the music in New York City sounded like 70s porn background.
Yeah.
Not that I would know what that sounds like.
I would.
And the voices all sounded like cartoon dubbing. It's like there was no real relation to the person, or sounding like the person, especially the one cop. I've seen him in other movies. The cop that tails Myrna and saves her from the thugs.
Was that Roger?
Yes.
Was that Robert Kerman?
No, Robert Kerman was the other guy,
Okay.
the curly-haired guy. This guy was, anyway.
Oh, the thugs! Oh
The
my
guy with
gosh!
the
The
thugs.
I forgot about them.
And
Oh my God,
excessive use of the word
Back
plot was
Shit
Yes.
face.
was repeated
Yeah.
often.
I've never heard somebody get called shit face so many times.
Yeah. Hey,
Turn around, shit face. Stay right there, shit face. I got a gun on you, shit face.
Jeff, you just reminded me though. They hit forward and the backhand.
yeah,
Dead.
yeah, yeah.
That is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It
So
sounds like a board being broken. Yeah.
Yeah.
this will probably sound very strange, but getting towards the end of the second one, I was thinking I kind of like this sort of overall story that they're going down there to steal emeralds from the native tribes and all that stuff, but then they go over the top on the gore and the whole cannibal thing. Anyway, and then they switch back and forth to New York City, where they're trying to track down this Mike, and who is one of the most disgusting characters I've ever seen. And at the minute he opens his mouth, because every word he says is a sneer. He says everything with a sneer. He lies to him about what's going on. So anyway,
obviously everyone except for them that this guy's bad news.
I'm going to do this. This is sort of my version of the Joe Bob Briggs drive-in totals for this one.
God.
Just so somebody understands what they're getting in for. So, and some of these you may have seen in Cannibal Holocaust as well. But at Cannibal Ferox, you get one turtle butchering and eating, one caiman butchering and eating, a ball with spikes trap, kill, a wall with spikes, kill, a chopped off hand, one native girl shot, one eye removal with a knife, one breast pierced by a hook.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging by two breasts pierced by hooks. Eating of 6-inch slugs or maggots. I don't know what those were. Eat a moth or a butterfly, a big one. Anaconda kills a creature while they sit there and watch.
Oh yeah, it was oh yeah, tied up. That's
I don't know if
sad.
that was that a Quad Monday or something like that. A Quad, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was like
Exactly
an
what it was.
opossum.
It looked like a
Kinda.
man-eater. I thought
Like
it
a
was
South
a man-eater
American.
first.
But anyway, and it was there. That's what it was there for. We tie up this
Mhm.
little animal so the snake
Yep,
would go for
that
that
was
instead of us.
sad. Yeah, that part was.
Then there's a gutting with a stick, entrails and organs removed by hand and eaten. Head strapped in a table with a hole for the top of his head, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
then chopped off with a machete, and they eat his brains. Two
They do that
penis
to
removals,
monkeys,
and
though.
finally one eating of a removed penis.
Yep.
How
The
about
other one was
part-
just tossed away.
How about the part where they dragged the little creature on the Jeep when he fell out when they hit that bump?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One possum dragging.
Yeah.
As,
Mm.
I
not
hate
to
it.
mention, I didn't even get into the thugs back in New York.
Geez, when you list it all like that, it sounds kind of sleazy.
Just a little
Well,
bit,
I mean, it
just a little
is.
bit.
It is. It's shocking that this,
Yeah.
just like Cannibal Holocaust, though. It is shocking. It's crazy.
I
that
can't believe this is
stuff
banned in
happened.
31 countries.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what the
yeah.
poster said, and it wouldn't lie. I mean,
Of course not. No.
I think there's probably close to 31 countries that just on principle won't show American movies. I mean, nothing we make ever gets shown in North Korea. So anything you make, you can say banned in North Korea. And I'll bet there's a bunch of countries like that. So
I went when I went back to college in the mid to late 90s. I had a couple of Norwegian students that I became friends with, and they came up to my house and had dinner, and we watched True Romance, and they both were like, I don't know why we don't have movies like this in Norway. Of course, that was 30 years ago. I have since seen some Norwegian horror movies that were pretty,
Yeah.
like Red Snow, I think. Anyway,
Those Swedes.
those
Mhm,
Swedes.
mhm.
Those crazy
So-
Swedes.
it's now time for
Oh,
Oh, yes.
taglines with Chad.
and Chad, you know how like the last few movies haven't had any taglines?
Yeah, I'm looking at that now.
Yeah, this one makes up for it.
I quit.
Oh, no.
I okay. All right. The taglines for this sorry piece of shit movie are as follows: the most violent film ever made.
I mean, honestly, though, part of that could be true because there's
Close.
real violence.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Like,
Well,
there may
reaching-
be films that faked more violence. but-
Slicing that guy's chest cavity open and pulling it apart with their hands and ripping out the entrails, and I don't know what organ that was, liver or something they were chomping on. Anyway, pretty violent.
Mhm.
They were cold, sadistic killers who thought that they could hide from justice, but now they must face the harsh law of the jungle.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. They were talking about him, the dude.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
That dude.
They ate my butthole! And not in the good way I usually like.
Not in a good way.
Oh, God. Okay.
They must pay for their crimes with blood and pain. For what they have done, make them die slowly. I'm assuming that's
Okay.
under the other name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an alternative title.
That wouldn't make sense otherwise.
They raped and killed his sister while he watched helplessly. Now it's his turn to make them die slowly.
See, that's
But
really
that-
cool, but that's not this movie.
That's
Yeah,
not what
that's
happens
not-
at all.
Doesn't
Never
happen.
happens.
Yeah.
Gloria and Rudy are brother and sister,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she doesn't
But-
get raped. And
No.
you
And
know.
he doesn't make anyone die slowly.
There was
except
no
himself,
rape in
so-
the movie at all. Or,
No,
Yeah,
which is fine. Don't
no,
give him any
that's-
ideas. Jesus,
Yeah,
man.
no, that's good. But yeah, it's weird.
okay. Banned in 31 countries.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's it for that one.
Okay.
That was enough to get me in the theater if I had the opportunity.
Gruesome, grotesque, horrendous. the goriest orgy that ever bloodied the screen.
Ooh.
That I don't call an orgy either.
No. Maybe that's when his sister got raped. I don't know.
It's an orgy of gore.
Okay, that's fair.
It's a metaphorical orgy.
They kind of, probably lost something in translation.
That's the only kind I ever get invited to.
Umberto Lenzi's horror classic.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That'll get him in seats.
Oh yeah. Whoa. Whoa, hold the fences. There's a new Umberto Lenzi film in town.
Who? Uncle Ron. Oh, okay. Never before has such savage butchery and barbaric torture. I read that completely wrong, didn't I?
There's never no verb in that whole thing.
Yeah, never before such savage butchery and barbaric torture. It still sucks.
Yeah, it's awful. Oh.
Be warned. The producers of this film will not be held responsible by any patron who suffers side effects after seeing Woman from Deep River. Okay, let's go see Cannibal Ferox instead.
What?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, God.
Bizarre Human Sacrifices. The most violent film ever. I felt like I read that already.
You did. You did.
Okay.
There's variations on it.
But if we pair it up with capital letter stuff, then it's more impactful. And that's been Taglines with Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
Yay, Chad.
Ta-da! Oh, we're so easily amused.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, actually.
But I was reading somewhere in the U.S. the Aquarius was a distributor, the marketer, and they had that warning in the trailer was read by a woman, which they felt would be more
impactful or something.
More, yeah. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right. Well, let's take a look at some of these posters for this movie.
Oh, see, I've never seen these. Wow, that actually looks pretty brutal. I would have made my brother get this for me.
Make them die slowly.
I mean, even we've got a couple of gratuitous drips of blood going off slowly. I mean, it's.
Well, actually, and let's do that quickly here. So it was also known as Make Them Die Slowly, was an alternative title in the U.S. Die Rache der Kannibalen in Germany, The Revenge of the Cannibals. Im Dschungel der Menschenfresser. A rerun title in Germany, In the Jungle of the Man-Eaters. Jaget auf Kannibaler in Danish,
Lovecraft,
Hunted by Cannibals. And I don't even know. This is, I know I'm going to say this wrong, but Zeni od Hluboki Riki, the DV title in the Czech Republic, which is Women from the Deep River. Or I probably said something really gross and degenerate.
Oh, no. We're gonna get letters again.
Well, Eleanor can let us know how badly I did that. I usually run them through something and try to listen to it, and that one I didn't. So shame on me. All right. So we had that.
I tried to use my Apple Translate, and it told me to shut up.
make them die slowly. And there's Cannibal Ferox.
What does Ferox mean? I don't even know.
It's Latin for cruel or punishing.
Okay.
I wrote meaning cruel, wild, or ferocious.
So that's like the root of the word feral, I guess.
Or ferocious.
Probably.
Yeah. It's a cool word, but I can see why they changed it, because you'd be confused. What does Ferox mean?
Yeah.
Who cares? It's cannibals.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, that's probably more true that,
It means paper plate in French.
So yeah, this one has the photo, kind of a photo montage.
Crazy. It actually has nudity. I'm shocked. Like
and that exact scene does not take place in the movie. They just threw a bunch of stuff up there and some
Mhm.
pointy sticks with red on the end.
I have a certain fondness for these in the days before Photoshop photo montages where
Mhm. Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
very carefully had to cut it
Mhm.
out with scissors.
Yep. Oh, that's what they
natives.
did, really?
You know, and then they're like,
Ew.
God dang it, this girl's got curly hair. This is a nightmare. Ah.
And the last one.
Oh, Japan or whatever. Oh, Asia.
That's
You know
probably
they-
Japanese. I'd be willing to.
You know that they were not going to let that scene go unrecorded for the poster. I mean, when people who have seen this movie talk about it, that's usually the bit.
Mm.
And it's pretty horrible, although very unrealistic.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
So, and lastly, we have an ad.
Yep.
Or the exhibitor's press sheet. Anyway, the goriest orgy that ever bloodied the screen. And we have a black and white of the nude girl hanging from the hooks.
Yep.
A la The Man Called Horse.
Yep. Does it go too far?
Only not something that she agreed to.
No.
While he was going through a ritual.
Right.
Anyway.
Gruesome, grotesque, horrendous.
And there's the
Wow.
never before such savage butchery and barbaric torture. I don't know. And then what's is that what the whole thing is at, isn't it? Yeah.
Be warned.
The producers
Alrighty.
of this film will not be held responsible by any patrons. That's the one.
I always like that. Like, you know,
Yeah.
oh, hey, you know, people, New York's got a lot of lawyers. We better put something in there or they might sue us for what?
Well,
I went
and
to see a movie called Make Them Die Slowly, and it was really sleazy and disgusting. Get out of my courtroom.
and,
I thought it
and
was a
unlike
Disney
William
film.
Castle, there will be no nurses in the lobby.
Yeah.
All right. So, Bill,
Yes, sir.
I guess we're having a bit of a lecture here.
A little bit of a lecture here. Okay. So
History of cannibal movies.
yeah, I kind of tried to, you know, compress this all down into
Okay. Oh,
the
wow.
brief
This is cool.
birth, flowering, high water mark, immediately followed by the sad, slow, by which I mean fast decline and extinction of the cannibal movies. And it all starts with one that Jeff actually referenced, A Man Called Horse, which is not a cannibal movie. It's actually a pretty high classy Hollywood movie. Richard Harris is like kidnapped by Native Americans, and he undergoes the ritual to become part of the tribe. And it's like the worst, you know, hazing ever. You know, like you're joining a fraternity that's got really harsh rules. He's suspended by hooks and it's
spun around.
Yeah, spun around. It's real torture. Well, the Italians love this movie. I think it did okay in America, but it killed in Italy. Take that and then another movie, which I'm really, really fond of. I hope we do it one day. The
It's
Naked
not cannibals, though, is it?
Oh, not in A Man Called Horse. But
No,
you
Naked
combine
Prey.
it-
Naked Prey.
Well, Naked Prey does have an implied cannibal scene where
okay.
what you know, these dumb great white hunters accidentally insult a tribe. Well, no, they insult a tribe, and they are all, one of them is like covered in mud and cooked alive over a fire. There's, you know, all of them are tortured except for the one guy, Cornell Wilde, who was actually kind of decent, and they give
What
him
a
a
great
fighting
movie.
chance. Yeah, they let him run off, and they're going to hunt him. So it's basically Apocalypto, only it's the movie that Apocalypto was based on. Well, and that also was a big hit overseas. You take those two movies and combine them together, and you get The Man from Deep River, which was Umberto Lenzi's knockoff, homage, ripoff, whatever you want to call it, of these movies put together, where a white guy ends up being kidnapped by a cannibal tribe, and they torture him, and then they make him part of the tribe. But then another cannibal tribe comes in, and he has to fight them off, and it did really, really well.
So hold on.
Yeah.
Man from Deep River,
right,
is actually Cannibal Ferox, right?
No,
that was Woman from.
Oh, that's Woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right.
Never mind. I was sitting here going, how did I miss all these taglines on there?
He made the sequel, the non-sequel sequel years later. That was okay. So then that movie was a huge hit, spawned the whole genre really of the cannibal movies, and they're about to make a sequel to it. but Lenzi got into some argument with the producer or whatever and got kicked off the film. He hired Ruggero Deodato, who then made Jungle Holocaust, which was way more extreme than Man from Deep River. And then Katie barred the door. Everything started happening. We ended up with Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals.
Yeah.
At this point, these movies were so successful that they took what was probably going to be just another Emmanuel movie and said, let's put cannibals in it.
Yeah, Joe
and then
They're sexy cannibals.
Yeah. Slave of the Cannibal Gods, which had Ursula Andress and like, I don't know, Stacy Keach. There's some real actors in there. That was one of the higher class ones. And then Deodato came back and put the finishing exclamation point on the genre with Cannibal Holocaust, which, love it or hate it, is a brilliant movie. It's not for everybody. I'm not recommending it for everyone, but is a brilliant movie and very influential and probably the high watermark. At this point, after Cannibal Holocaust, there was no reason to ever make another cannibal movie. But of course, they kept on doing it. Eaten Alive was, I think, at this point now, Lenzi's pissed off because Lenzi created this genre, but it's Deodato that's getting all the credit, plus everyone else. You can't be too upset. You ripped off a Hollywood movie, and now everyone's ripping off your ripoff. He did Eaten Alive. What's amazing is a lot of these movies have the same people in them, the same actors over and over again. And then
now Eaten Alive also has nudity in the poster.
Oh, yeah. At this point, the genre had exhausted itself. The stories are all the same. There's nothing new to do. It's always the same premise over and over again. It's just a matter of, can you do it with some wit? And Cannibal Holocaust did it about as good. So now it's time. Cannibals don't do it anymore. I know. Let's throw in zombies. And we got the wonderful Dr. Butcher, MD, which I think was actually Zombie Holocaust. So you can see what they're doing there. And that's a fun piece of garbage trash. And then finally Lenzi's like, by God, I'm so mad. I'm going to make the ultimate cannibal movie. And that's where we got Cannibal Ferox, which, as Crystal pointed out, it's like, wait a minute, another turtle? What is it with turtles? And I think that turtle got killed just because a turtle got killed in Cannibal Holocaust. But not that I'm saying compare the scenes, but if you compare the two scenes, Cannibal Holocaust turtle slaughter is way more over the top.
I agree.
To the point where it actually makes some sense because it is so gross and everything. It really throws it in your face and you're grossed out by it. And it, whereas this one is just like, hey, let's kill a turtle.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any, there's no reason for it to be there. It doesn't have any,
they do eat it though.
Well, yeah. And look, I understand. Listen, I eat meat. Those animals did not die on their deathbeds surrounded by their families after a long and happy life. I'm in no real moral standpoint. Can I brag about this and everything? But to me, there's always been something different about killing an animal for food and killing an animal for entertainment, which is what you're doing when you're making a movie. And I realize that pig that got killed in this movie, I'm sure was not thrown into the trash. It was probably eaten. But I don't know.
I grew up on a farm. I saw animals getting slaughtered left and right. And it doesn't bother me because we ate them. But for seeing them like this, it's a whole, for some reason it's different to me.
I think I said,
me too. That's why it's like, I can't like, I just don't think that there should be any real death on screen for entertainment, regardless of whether it's eaten or any, what I mean? Period. Like, no, like but this was different times. That's why I'm like, look, I absolutely, and I think most people feel that way. But then when you think back to like it was the late 70s for Cannibal Holocaust, wasn't it actually technically?
It was,
and then it came out in the 80s.
Yeah,
it was after this one.
No, it was before. No. Cannibal Holocaust was 1980.
Yeah, Cannibal Holocaust.
This is one of the last of the cannibal movies, really.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So like, I feel like it was just a different time. I just don't think that they really thought,
And that's fine. That's cool too. I mean, we see a lot of stuff that we see a lot of stuff that we wouldn't see normally in movies
Right.
nowadays. But there's just some
It's
about
sickening.
that's not the purpose of why the animals should have were there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, here's with Cannibal Holocaust, it kind of works. I understand, because the whole premise is that we're actually watching a real film, at least in the second half, and showing what is clearly not fake, that we are seeing real animals getting killed, puts us in a place where now that we're watching this supposedly real footage of these people getting killed, I kind of understand. And if the other thing is, you keep in mind, these films are also kind of an offshoot from the Mondo films, which have been completely forgotten, but were a very popular genre back in the day. Mondo movies, where they would go out and it was like National Geographic with, except directed by really awful people. And so you're seeing weird sexual things and nudity and foods. It was just, in your face, gross out kind of stuff. Now that's been completely supplanted by the internet, which you can, YouTube. But yeah, I understand the need for it. But with something like this, there was no need. There was no greater thing other than you're expected to actually kill animals for real in a cannibal movie. People would say, I didn't get my money's worth. I didn't see a turtle get its head chopped off.
All I did was pull. I didn't do a whole bunch of research like Bill. I pulled there was a table, and it's too fine a print to pull up, but there was a table in Wikipedia of cannibal films. And then they went through this whole thing, and they had a bunch of quotes of what Bill was talking about, of Lenzi and Diodato arguing back or making statements to the press back and forth.
What's funny, both of them, I know Lenzi has died. Is Diodato still alive? Or
could tell you.
Toward the end of their lives, or in the later, they kind of disown these films and were, trying to, how about my other films and everything. But at the time they were, fighting over who gets the credit for the cannibal genre.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like timing. Even they were like, oh, this is okay. And even now they're like, ooh, we shouldn't have done that.
But Diodato actually got arrested, right? Because he tried to make everybody think it was real, and then hid the actors. So
that was brilliant.
So anyway, in this list, it lists Man from Deep River first, Lenzi in 72, but then the next one is Jungle Holocaust, which was 77, at least in this table. Mountain of the Cannibal God, which has like 5 other names. So 78, Slave of the Cannibal God, Prisoner of the Cannibal God, Sergio Martino, and then Papaya, Love Goddess of the Cannibals.
That's, you know what that means.
Joe D'Amato.
Joe D'Amato. Oh, it's going to be good.
And then one called The Primitive in 78, then Cannibal Holocaust, then Eaten Alive, then Zombie Holocaust, then We're Going to Eat You.
I think that's Joy Hark.
Yes, it is.
Hong Kong. Yeah.
And they're all these are 1980. Orgasmo Nero, Black Orgasm in 1980 from Joe D'Amato.
Oh, Joe.
And Devil Hunter from Just Franco.
Oh,
and then Eli Roth came on and ripped all of them off.
Devil Hunter.
Green Inferno.
Yeah, Green Inferno.
Devil Hunter, aka Mandingo Manhunter. I mean,
yikes!
I don't even know what that means. And then there's Just Franco did a Mondo Cannibal in 1980, which also was named A Woman for the Cannibals, The Blonde Goddess. Is that the one with anyway? No. So yeah, and then Cannibal Terror, Cannibal Ferox, 1981, Diamonds of Kilimanjaro, Just Franco, or Treasure of the White Goddess, Cannibal Love, Joe D'Amato, White Slave, Mario Gariazzo, and these all have like anywhere from 3 to half a dozen other titles.
Yeah,
Cut and Run by Diodato.
Cut and Run was it could have been included, but that's more of an adventure film with a little bit of cannibalism or implied cannibalism thrown in there. It's a better movie, but he was trying to get away. There was one more cannibal movie they were talking about making called Cannibal Fury, and I don't know what it was about. I've always said if someone gave me money and said make a cannibal movie, I would love to make a cannibal movie about some low rent Italian filmmaker going down to the jungle to make a cannibal movie.
And then they got
And something goes horribly wrong. Like he didn't pay his
Something goes
translator enough.
horribly
And they
wrong.
didn't fully explain that this is when we'll replace the real machete with a balsa wood machete and everything goes to hell. That would be fun.
All right. After I want to finish this to make a point, because at the end there's some really strange listings. Cut and Run, Deodato, 1985. Massacre in Dinosaur Valley. Michele Massimo Tarantino. Naturo Contro, Antonio Clamati, which is also
I've had
Against
that before.
Nature.
It tastes terrible.
Anyway, 1988. And then from 88, it jumps to 1999 with Ravenous.
Ravenous is awesome.
Ravenous is a cool film.
But that's more of a Wendigo.
Yeah, it's not really a
yeah.
cannibal.
Yeah.
As in native tribes, it's
Well, like I said,
Wendigo
the genre burned itself out very quickly. You notice almost all those movies were in 1980. I mean, literally 1980
a ton of them.
and
A ton
81.
of them. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they saturated the market, and everyone quickly realized there was nothing left to say.
And then after Ravenous, there was a couple of Bruno Mattei movies.
Oh, Bruno.
In the Land of the Cannibals, Cannibal Ferox 3 was one of its alternate names.
Where's Cannibal Ferox 2? They just skipped 2 and went straight to 3.
Well, he made the Fulci movie, Zombie 3, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's the one that finished that Fulci movie.
I'm sure one of these movies was called Cannibal Ferox 2.
And then Mondo Cannibal, which is also Cannibal World or Cannibal Holocaust 2.
Okay.
And then Welcome to the Jungle by Jonathan Hensley, also known as Cannibals. And then finally, The Green Inferno, Eli Roth.
Yeah.
Then Bone Tomahawk.
Okay, well, Bone Tomahawk is a great movie.
It is. It's an absolutely wonderful movie. S. Craig Zahler.
But I wouldn't consider that a cannibal movie.
Well, they eat.
I mean, yeah, that does have, but I think there's movies with cannibals in them, and there's cannibal movies.
Right. And then the last one is kind of in that same category, Bones and All, which was out in the last couple of years, Luca Guadagnino, and it's about there's people walking among us who are cannibals, and Bones and All means they crunch the whole thing, and these two a teen girl and boy kind of pair together and find out they have these similar traits or something. Anyway,
I mean, I would consider Parents to be part of the cannibal genre. It's
well, I mean, there's Raw just
Nice.
recently. That is a cannibal film.
That's true too.
Like,
well, they're eating. They're eating people. All right. Well,
that's nasty.
they're eating them. Yes, they are. Well, let's take a look at Mr. Lenzi. City of the Walking Dead. Eyeball. Spasmo.
Eyeball. I haven't seen Eyeball. What's Eyeball?
It's not great, but that's one of my all-time favorite posters. That poster.
Yeah, it's a cool that's what I'm like. That was neat.
That goes right on the wall. That's awesome. So, okay. So he's an Italian genre filmmaker. He's got a gazillion credits. And when zombies were big, he made City of the Walking Dead. Started the cannibal thing with Man from Deep River. Oh, Giallo films are making money? Spasmo. Yeah. Slasher, Eyeball. He'll make whatever. And you can call these people hacks, which is usually a pejorative. They're working directors. His job is to make a product, make it entertaining. He's way better, for me, far more entertaining than Franco or Bruno Mattei or some of the others that get mentioned. There's something there, but no, he's not a great craftsman. I would not consider him.
It looks like in the 60s he was into, for the most part, adventure movies like Samson and the Slave Queen and what else did I see? Tarzan and the Golden Grotto.
Golden Grotto. These guys are so happy that they live in Italy where there's the ruins of ancient Rome all over the place. And all they got to do is get a guy, well-built guy, take his shirt off and boom, it's Hercules.
Yeah.
I think there's some spy spoofs too. There's
Oh.
008 Operation Exterminate. 008.
There are some, yeah. I mean, a lot of this stuff, the non-horror stuff, has not. They don't. The spy films don't have the rabid fandom like us, so they've all been forgotten. But there was a shit ton of them, and it really
they're
makes
fun, but
they're fun, but they really make you appreciate James Bond when you watch a Italian James Bond ripoff. If it isn't Danger Diabolic by Mario Bava, they're usually pretty subpar. And the humor doesn't always translate well. Italian humor is its own thing, and I often don't get it. But
okay, I'm just looking at these anyway. So does he have a style, or is he just?
I guess I'd have to watch all 4 of these and see if I can figure it out. I think his style is that he probably has a pretty good sense of what a giallo film is and follows the rules.
Yeah.
Man from Deep River is a lot like A Man Called Horse. They could be on a double feature together. So, he knows what he wants to do, and he does it. It's been a while since I saw City of the Walking Dead, so I don't remember which one it is. Is this the one where where a plane lands and the zombies just get off and they take over the city? I'm not sure if it's that one or if I'm thinking of something else. They all kind of blend together. If it's that one, he's a genius, because I love that movie. It had no explanation. A plane lands and the people get off and they're zombies.
What other name does that have?
Oh, I'm going to guess 1,000, but I'm probably going to freeze myself going to IMDb. And
don't. Because I'm looking at the list and I'm not seeing. I see Cannibal Ferox, Eaten Alive, From Corleone to Brooklyn. That's not it.
From Corleone to Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, do you think the Italians ripped off The Godfather ever?
Nope. I'm not saying it ain't there. I wonder if I look up City of the Living Dead, it'll give me the.
It's a 1980 film. Oh no, City of the Living Dead. City of the Walking Dead. Oh, that was Fulci.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, Living Dead is.
Which that guy Mike was in, that played Mike. He was in the Fulci one. The guy that got his drill.
Oh
drilled
yeah.
through the temple.
Oh yeah. Hey, good one.
That poor guy.
Oh,
this one sounds actually kind of interesting. Maggie and Negan, what? Travel to a post-apocalyptic Manhattan, long ago cut off from the mainland. The crumbling city is filled with
the
Walking
Dead. The new Walking Dead series.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. The Walking Dead, Dead City. God
Dead
dang
City,
it.
yeah.
People,
Negan, it's
Google,
Negan.
I was like, what are the chances that they would have a character with the same name?
Oh my God.
Very low,
I love
Bill,
you,
but never
Bill.
zero.
I love you, Bill. That's
Thank you.
precious.
Chances
That's
are
so
low,
sweet.
but never zero.
I would have still gone, wow, I do not remember that in this Umberto Lenzi film. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting it. When I search City of the Walking Dead, it doesn't.
I've heard of this, though. I swear I have.
All right. It's also known as, I just picked that one because it was the best looking poster. It's also known as Nightmare City.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
And it's 1980, directed by, and this is the one. Hugo Stiglitz is a TV news reporter who witnesses the collapse of order in a city overrun by irradiated, blood-drinking ghouls. Victims rise from the dead to join the others. It's it's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and has the unmitigated balls to end with, and it was all a dream.
Oh no!
Or was it? Because then the airplane lands, and maybe the whole thing starts over again.
That is great. That is absolutely great. An airplane exposed to radiation lands, and blood-drinking zombies emerge, armed with knives, guns, and teeth.
Yeah, I know. They use tools. Oh my God!
They go on a rampage, slicing, dicing, and biting their way across.
This will be my next pick if it's showing anywhere.
Mel Ferrara is in it, huh?
All right.
Man's got to eat.
Well, that's our writer-director. Now let's take a look at some of the Lorraine de Selle.
She was good.
She was
whatever.
good. Her character was a moron,
Mhm.
but she was good.
Well, she made it out. She made it out.
She's the last.
And she
she's
made
the
money
only,
off of it too.
I mean, she's one of the only really likable characters. Her brother was okay, but
Well,
Her brother was really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a nice guy.
Yeah,
but
so
we liked her.
the story is she and her brother go down there to prove that cannibals don't really exist as
Right.
part of her
Yeah.
dissertation for it's not archaeology, I'm getting the wrong
Anthropology.
anthropology. So shortly through the thing you find out, oh, they are cannibals, but it's because we're so cruel to them. Then at the final scene is she goes back and she's getting her doctorate and a special gold medal.
Yeah, for
some
disproving
reason,
cannibalism.
For disproving cannibalism.
And they're like, hey, what happened to all those people you went down there with? They fell off a boat.
Yeah, the boat capsized and they all died. Yeah.
Yep, that's the story.
Look at that
I wonder,
papaya just sitting there taunting everybody.
I wonder if that whole thing, there was a guy, I don't know, was it David Rockefeller? There was a Rockefeller who went into
the one who disappeared.
The one who disappeared.
Yes.
I don't think it was David. I can't remember what his name was.
I can't remember. I feel like it was
the story was, there's two possibilities. One is he was eaten by cannibals, and the other is that he drowned. So the family's always gone with the drown thing because it sounds better, but there's increasing.
Well, he was like hanging out with those cannibals, though. I don't know. It doesn't mean that. I don't think that tribe ate him because they were friends. Like it's totally possible, though. Another tribe.
Well, these tribes don't always like each other, and if they know that you're the guy who hangs out with the other tribe,
I thought some tribes did it as a way of honoring the person.
Oh,
that's what they tell you when they throw you in the pot. Well, cannibalism is a very controversial topic because it's been used for racist reasons to imply that people are savage and everything. But there are definite cases of it as part of a ritual.
Well, there was a foreign horror movie that was remade in the U.S. and what was it? We Are What We Are, something like that, where the family ate people.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
No, I'm getting the title.
We're not humans don't taste particularly good, we are told.
We Are What We Are is the name of it.
We Are What We Are.
10 years ago, and then there was a Spanish version originally. But what happens is what really happens, if I remember in that movie, is that if you live on human flesh, it's not good for you.
Well, no, actually, it's very dangerous. A lot of the odds are you'll develop some really serious diseases, and a lot of them make you go crazy and like, it's gross.
I've read that any species that eats its own species will develop some kind of sickness.
Which almost makes it sound like an evolutionary adaptation that we are adapted not to want to eat each other because otherwise we would.
Yep. Totally.
Same reason God made poo stink, so we wouldn't eat it again.
Yeah.
Ew.
Good move.
God, ew, God, no.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work with dogs.
Dogs are dirty animals. We love
dogs
them.
Eat anything, and their stomachs are freaking insane.
There must be cast iron.
Dogs actually smell the dog food in their smelling sense of smell is so good they actually smell the dog food in the poo, and that's why they eat it.
I didn't think our discussion of this movie, the grossest thing would be Chad.
I try to bring what I can to the show to contribute.
Well, I mean, this is
the film for
so she has a bunch of other credits, but I don't recognize them. Women's Prison Massacre in 1983. She plays the warden. That
sounds like a winner.
She plays the warden? She doesn't look like the warden type at all.
No.
I think she has that. She could have that stern. And that's a Bruno Mattei movie.
Oh, boy. I'll bet that's classy.
Oh, but that also has another title. Emmanuel en el Reformatorio de las Perdidas.
Oh, boy.
Oh, okay.
Like Emmanuel and the Reformatory from Hell kind of thing?
I have a feeling that Emmanuel was a big hit in Italy because boy, they kept that.
There's a lot of Emmanuel movies. Yeah. All right. So yeah, she does well. And I like to what Chad said. That's the rotten papaya on the stick, which apparently means they've been cursed.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Do you know what that means?
It's a rotten papaya. You know what that means.
I was going to eat that.
And
There's our bad boy.
There's John
Honestly, though,
Morghen.
Sorry. He did a good job, I thought. Like, he was bad, but
Well, he's one of the ones
he
that
was kind of crazy. He was kind of spooky.
I thought the dub voice was so bad that it's hard to tell how good his acting was.
Right. His expressions were great.
Okay, I don't know if you're gonna all appreciate this.
Go ahead.
When he first came onto the screen, I was like, "What's Trey Parker doing in this movie?" Like, I was like, he looks with the hair, and I was like, "Oh, sorry." That was really funny to me.
He's a vicious son of a bitch.
I guess I broke his eyeball out.
In real life, he was not happy with what they asked him to do on this.
Well, that's a good thing. You should, you know, if you're happy doing it, then that might mean there's something wrong with you. Yeah.
The bottom picture is a contraption, which was really kind of cool, where they jacked his head up and pulled his chin up tight and made his head go up through that hole, and the guy whacks the top off with the machete, and then now they're getting little
morsels,
little fondue.
It's like a popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's like Jiffy Pop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you also have, what else was he in? He was in City of the Living Dead.
So the Fulci film.
That's what Chad was mentioning.
He's the guy that got the drill through the temple.
Cool.
Well, good.
Stage Fright.
Yeah.
So he's in some good stuff too.
He was one of the soldiers in Cannibal Apocalypse.
He's in a real sleazy one called House at the End of the Park, which is kind of like Last House on the Left, which I guess was a big hit in Italy. And they made one that I haven't seen it, but I'm told that it's even rougher than.
What?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't made by, Wes Craven, so it was made by someone else.
I forgot his character's name in Cannibal Apocalypse was Charlie Bukowski.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But again, it's really hard to look these movies up because at his IMDb listing, it lists that movie as Cannibals in the Streets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not Cannibal Apocalypse. So who knows?
You had to be careful if you were in Italy that you didn't go see the same movie 5 times.
Yeah, because the names. That would drive me crazy.
Well, he was in one called The American Bride. I wonder what shenanigans happened there. All right.
I mean, he was fun. He was hateful. One of the most despicable characters we have ever run across, and richly deserved everything that happened to him, and drove these poor, peaceful villagers right back into cannibalism.
Yes. Well, he and Pat, the blonde with curly hair, have sex. But then he says, "How'd you like to make it with one of the native girls?" And so then they run down to the river and grab one, and he starts threatening him with a knife and gives the knife to her and wants her to cut her. And she's all of a sudden realizes this guy's nuts.
Yeah.
I think she thought, in her mind, she thought they were just going to scare him and like be funny and not. Yeah. But still, I was like, girl, wouldn't you know already? This dude is just, come on.
She was not
powerful drug.
Yeah, and stupidity even more powerful. So she combined the two of them together.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of her, Zora Kerova.
Yeah. Well, this one made her famous because when everyone ever thinks about this movie, that's pretty much what they think about. That scene.
And now that's pretty graphic. That's
Yeah.
more graphic than the penis removal scenes, although one of them, but it's a flash cut, but this lingers.
It lingers because she's dying slowly and it's horrible. Yeah.
But you kind of knew what she was like when she she gets it on with the
Oh,
police sergeant.
Oh yeah.
Anything
So
with
she can have a
pants,
shower.
I mean,
Anything for a shower. Yeah. Well,
she probably would have had sex with that animal if it hadn't fallen out of the Jeep. I mean, she's not a choosy.
I forgot
woman.
what she said when she left. She said next time try a bath or something like that.
Oh,
Or try washing, I think it was.
try washing.
Ew.
Next time?
Okay, I missed that. I missed
Yeah,
that.
yes, I remember that. That was like, oh.
All right. And she does okay. She does pretty good.
Yeah,
too.
I
You know,
didn't
I
have
think
a problem with
yeah.
the acting, honestly. I didn't.
Robert.
Sherman. All right. So here's a man. Here's kind of a legend. Recently died. Well, he was a starving actor in New York City. And man's got to eat. So they're like, oh, they're doing adult films. And he would do adult films thinking, these things, they're going to play in New York City, going to play on Times Square. Then they're going to take all that film and cut them into guitar picks and no one will be the wiser. But boy, he made a lot of them. And he made Debbie Does Dallas. He's the guy who does Debbie. Yes. So yeah. I mean, okay, you can look at him. I mean, compared to Ron Jeremy, he's got leading man good looks, but he's a pretty average looking guy and everything, but he was a good actor. And definitely if you see those films back in the time when they actually bothered to have a plot, he was the best actor in the bunch. So he got to do a lot of them and it ruined his career. He was pretty embittered for the rest of his life that, he'd get cast in a soap opera or something. And then they'd find out that he did these movies and they'd kick him out. The nerve. Umberto Lenzi claimed later on that if he had known that this guy was making adult films, he never would have hired him for his family-friendly masterpiece, Make Them Die Slowly. I mean,
what the hell? That's ridiculous.
Come on.
Okay, but he did get into. So he was in Cannibal Holocaust too.
Mm-hmm.
He was
the main guy. Yeah. Hated the experience, but
he played a tugboat captain in Spider-Man 2002.
So here's the irony. Later on in life, when some of the folks who grew up to become directors and stuff remember seeing him, probably whether they admit it or not, in porn films, and he was still alive and doing stuff, and they would cast him. They weren't going to cast him as a leading man, but they would throw him a bone here and there, and he got to be in some legit films. Small roles, but that's cool. But toward the end of his life, he was pretty sad about it. A lot of what ifs. What if I hadn't done the adult films? Could I have gone on to do something?
Probably not. Like, the truth be told, that still got his, because he would have had to have a regular job. Okay. And then there's so many things to that,
right.
I mean, the truth of actually making it, let's be real, is very slim anyway. So probably not.
He was never going to be a leading man, although I'm sure, he probably looks at Richard Dreyfuss is no better looking than I am. But you could see he had the chops to be the wisecracking sidekick in a cop drama or something. He could have done it. I'm sorry he is so regretful or was so regretful of the roles that he took in everything because, he is known. He has a certain popularity. I mean, but
somebody came in and put some of these porn movies into IMDb. There's one called Where the Sun Never Shines.
Yikes. Wow.
I've been there before.
That sounds super funny.
It gets even better. Then there's Flesh and Ecstasy, and then the one that takes all guesswork out of what kind of movie this is, Men Who Love Huge Boobs. That's an actual title. And he co-stars in that with Christy Canyon.
Oh, well, I mean...
which as far as porn names go, that's
so I'm guessing. I think I have a pretty good idea who played the woman with the big boobs and who played the man who loved them.
Yeah. But she did an episode of Cagney and Lacey. She was in the movie No Way Out. The Costner and Sean. What was her name? He was a CID man.
Sean Young.
Yeah. Night of the Creeps.
Okay.
Patrolman with Searchlight. Not big parts, but
no, but. Got to keep his SAG card.
Well, and the weird thing is I recognize him as the guy in Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time seeing this guy and seeing the guy in Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
He looks a lot different with a mustache and unshaven.
And the toward the
And
end,
he probably gained some. Well,
yeah, he would go to conventions and stuff, and mostly people wanted to talk about either Debbie Does Dallas, and he didn't want to really talk about the porn stuff, or they wanted to talk about Cannibal Holocaust, and he hates that movie. He hated everything about it, regretted being in it. So it's kind of a sad story. A guy who wants to be an actor does some things that he didn't think would follow him, and they did follow him. Well, and it's not always a happy ending.
So we'll just take a look at the gore, and boom, there it is.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Latex.
Before it gets to that point, we see them actually dig an eyeball out with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think maybe you have on the other.
Yeah, I think I do. Here's mud in your eye. No, I guess not. No, I think
that's where they're after they've cut him open stem to stern there and pulled out his entrails.
I will say that the dummy they used for that was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad.
The effects are pretty good for what they are.
Well, and
yeah, I agree.
We should mention the effects were done by I don't know. I remember when we did this whole big thing about this guy.
Yeah.
The special effects are done by Gino Rossi,
who is not the same as another Rossi who,
he's not the same as Gianetto Rossi, who also does special effects and makeup. Gino's full name is Luigino.
That's a lot of names.
Yeah. So short, Gino's short for Luigino, and the other guy's name is Gianetto. So yeah, not the same. And even reviewers get it wrong. There was a quote from AllMovie on Wikipedia that called the movie revolting but nauseatingly effective, and noting that it is, quote, primarily a showcase for the gory special effects artistry of Gianetto Rossi. No, for the special effects artistry of Gino Rossi.
See, this guy should have called himself Gianetto Rossi 2.
Yeah. And then he could have been in all of Bruno Mattei's movies.
Yeah. I will say one thing. If you watch more than one cannibal movie, which is probably one more than you need, these cannibals look good. Like they actually look like
I agree.
People who live in the jungle and everything. Because sometimes I'm willing to bet if you for whatever reason want to watch the ones that Jess Franco did, they're going to look like a bunch of Italian guys with some bad makeup that ends right about here. You can see where their shirt covers the rest. They're in torn jeans. They have wristwatches on.
In a way, yeah, they seem real. They do
gold chains.
Come
on, let's just go off.
They do kind of make the point that you feel like they actually shot this in a village somewhere. But I don't know how they did it.
Well, that was one of the things that
women had no problem being naked.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of sort of crowd scenes with the dates. Although they do have like mud smeared all over them. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, which is a good look. I think that was one. I think I remember seeing an interview with one of them. I don't know if it was Lenzi or Diodato, where they bragged about how, no, I went down to the jungle and actually worked with these tribes and shot this film, whereas the other guy was using a soundstage somewhere. So they were bragging about using, real people who probably don't live in mud huts or anything, but were, willing to do it for this. But then again, maybe they did. I don't know. And again, boy, oh boy, I would really be nervous about going down there, having to eat that food and drink that water and live with these folks who are living a life like that and are, being, maybe, they get together and they realize, hey, they're really exploiting us here.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, that's funny. It's like all of a sudden they turn on you, just like the movie.
It's like if you ever saw the what was the Fitzcarrallo, the one with
Klaus Kinski, and
they were working with folks who actually lived in the jungle down there, and they were perfectly willing. You know, they went up to Werner Herzog and told him, "Would you like us to kill this man? We will get rid." Klaus Kinski, who was just an insane person, and was being mean to everyone, including these natives in their land, in the jungle, where you could disappear like that. You could be staked to an anthill. There'll be nothing left. The jungle will reclaim you in a matter of weeks. Your bones wouldn't even be around.
Oh, I forgot. In the drive-in totals, there was also a piranha scene too. Where?
Oh yeah, there was.
And interestingly, okay, so this is another one where I think we're getting a little shade thrown here. There was a piranha scene in Cannibal Holocaust, but it didn't work.
Oh.
There's a few behind the scenes stills and everything, and it didn't work. They couldn't get the piranhas to work or whatever. And so he cut all that out. And then here comes Lenzi. He's like, I'll make it work. Yeah, it wasn't that tough. The fish did not look at all realistic when he gets pulled out and they're just hanging on. But okay.
So anybody who's so inclined, the Grindhouse releasing Blu-ray is a 3-disc.
Wow.
Special edition that has the Blu-ray, and then it has a disc that features the documentary film Eaten Alive: The Rise and Fall of the Italian Cannibal Film. And
does it say who did that behind the scenes?
Not at least not where I'm looking.
I've been on
says you also get a CD. So anyway, well, anything else we want to say about this?
Well, if it doesn't sound like it's your cup of tea, you're probably right. But if this is the sort of sometimes you want to get down and grimy and pretend that it's the 80s and your parents somehow insanely let you wander around Times Square. Well, okay, I was 20 years old. I guess it wasn't that insane. Still too young to be doing that. And you want to get that experience of what it was like to go in that theater. You can pop this on, watch on TV. And unlike my experience, you will actually be able to use your bathroom and come out alive. So I went to a grindhouse once to see something. And the lady who took my money for the ticket looked at me, instantly knew this was a hick from upstate New York, and basically just leaned in and said, "Don't use the bathroom, dear." I'm like, okay.
Ew.
And when I'm there watching the movies at different points, like they were in communication with each other, people would stand up and all go off to the bathroom together, and they would all come back from the bathroom together. And I did not use the bathroom. What does that mean? I don't know, because I took her advice and did not go to the bathroom.
Well, that's probably the best idea, but I'm very curious now.
It was an eclectic group of people in that theater.
Let's move on to feedback.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Feedback.
We got a lot of feedback. We'll got a lot of feedback. How much we want to do here.
Oh boy.
We'll start with episode 199, From Beyond. Chad, you want to take that from Travis McDonald?
Travis says, From Beyond is awesome. I will acquiesce that Reanimator is better, but both are absolute classics. From both From Beyond and TerrorVision came out in 1986. And with the overabundance of gloop in both films, KY jelly sales must have been through the roof. This was definitely peak Empire International. In regards to Empire International, I once heard that Charles Band should have had all his main characters pop out of a toilet as Empire began to struggle in the mid-'80s. It's hard to believe that Ghoulies, a film that traumatized children from going to the potty, was their biggest success and kept the company afloat for a few years before their demise. Still, Empire Films put out some classic 80s horror and sci-fi flicks. Hopefully down the road, the crew gets to review more of them. As always, best wishes. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Travis.
Thank you much, Travis. You gotta keep those KY jelly sales up. Gloop. I think there was a lot of gloop in the Blob as well. Episode 228, Zombie Nightmare, and I'll just take this. It's rather short. JB was here, 6819. I think this movie is hilarious. Oh, it's bad, but it's not boring. This was educational. Oh my God.
That's
They
true.
call
Yeah.
it educational. I dig it.
I keep seeing all these John Michael Thor videos pop up on my YouTube feed now. Since I've talked about it when we did this movie into my phone, I guess.
Well, I think
here's me.
Crazy.
Episode 268, Prom Night, Crystal from Robert Baker.
Robert Baker. Saw this years ago, but promptly forgot about it. What didn't help is that I saw it on a less than stellar print, and the dark and night scenes were totally washed out, and you couldn't see a thing. So at the end, I even missed the identity of the killer. That sucks, actually. Oh my God. Okay, didn't get. Why is this so funny to me? That's BS. Didn't get why Jamie Lee Curtis was so upset until I saw the film years later in a much better transfer. At least then I could see the kills. This one is for the slasher completionist more than anyone else. I will agree with that. Yes. It won't blow you away, and you won't see anything you haven't seen 1,000 times before. But if 80s slashers are your thing, then I say give it a try.
That would be funny, though, to watch a whole movie and then at the end they're like, dun, 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 and everyone's reacting. You're like, what? Who's that?
That's so funny. I know. That's really messed up. And like...
That's like the film we just covered on Classic. When we just, the John Carradine movie, when my version that I was watching just ended. And I was like, this ending sucks. And then I missed the whole ending of it.
What movie was that? It was on 70s.
7 Corpses.
Oh, right.
Yes.
All right. Also on Prom Night from Gregory Crosby. I think we're up, Bill.
Gregory says, I've never seen Prom Night and likely never will get around to watching it. So I'm just stopping by to join in the chorus. John Carpenter's The Fog is indeed a great underrated horror film. I think we are all in agreement with that.
I think we are.
But I think The Fog has... I don't think it's underrated anymore. I think that lots of people love The Fog now.
It's just when they make a list
of people
when they say John Carpenter was a great director, he directed, and they list a bunch of movies, but they often drop off The Fog.
Halloween and The Thing.
Yeah, maybe Escape from New York.
The Fog is a great Halloween movie.
Or Prince of Darkness.
But that doesn't take anything away from The Fog. It just means that John Carpenter is a superior filmmaker.
Yes, indeed.
And they have so many films to list that one unfortunately does drop to the bottom. But people love it. Everyone I know loves The Fog.
Sure.
Like there's not a single person, and I really only know horror people that love The Fog. But I could totally seeing it being one that, like, just like Halloween 3, it's like garnered a following over the years, I think.
Okay. Also on Prom Night from Lone Wolf, Chad.
Yeah, this is definitely an 80s horror classic. That being said, it's average, and I prefer the second movie. Yeah. I'm with Chad on slashers. Anything not named Halloween, Black Christmas, Dream Warriors, or Jason Lives just doesn't appeal to me. I'm a monsters kind of guy. I'm so with you on that, Lone Wolf. Jamie looked great and dances well, but she and Leslie Nielsen were big fish in a small pond. True. Felt bad for Slick and Jude, but at least Slick held his own against the killer. A few factoids I want to add here. Anne Marie Martin was in Buck Rogers along with her Halloween 2 co-star, Pamela Susan Shoop, who was the hot tub victim.
Yep.
Anne Marie was also one of the actresses who tried out for the role of Princess Leia in Star Wars. She's also the Canadian creature in the Canadian feature creature, The Boogans from 1981. I remember that movie. Oh my God. The guy who forced himself sexually on one of the girls during the prom was played by Jeff Wincott, brother of Michael Wincott, who's in Curtains and The Crow. Jeff later did B action flicks and is a pretty good martial artist. Love you guys. I know Jeff Wincott was in there.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Lone Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't always get a chance to say all the stuff. We get distracted, and appreciate people filling in our gaps. And I think, wasn't Anne-Marie Martin the one that was married to Michael Crichton?
Oh, yeah. It was the writer. Oh,
Michael
my God.
Crichton.
Thank you, Michael Crichton.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, why can't I come up with his name right now? I was like, he's super huge.
All righty. And, God, we still have more. Prom night. Scott Wells. For a movie that people doesn't really like, we got a lot of feedback.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Bill?
Sure. Scott Wells says, it has been a
Or wait,
very...
sorry. Did I skip? I skipped Crystal.
I think you skipped
It's
Crystal.
okay. You could just come back to me. It doesn't matter.
No. This way it works out better. So.
Oh,
okay.
You see why.
Scott Wells.
You know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, only Jeff plans out
I know.
where it's going to fall on somebody.
Scott Wells, it has been a very long time since I've seen this one. I'm not a slasher fan, so I never revisited it. And my only real memory of it was that I really didn't understand who the killer was at the end. And I agree with you. I had a difficult time too. I was very confused. And I never cared enough to go back and check. So thanks for clearing up a decades-old mystery for
Got
me.
another one, Robert.
Mhm.
I was right along with you guys on that.
It was weird.
You
how the
couldn't
whole
tell.
thing
I
went.
said, "Who the hell is that?"
Yeah.
You know.
That's why I mentioned. I was like, wait, I got very confused. It wasn't obvious, so that's not crazy. Leslie Nielsen was very much known for his strange, for his strange fascination. I can't even with flatulence.
Yeah.
What? So
Oh, yeah.
much. Wait, what?
Yeah.
So much so that he left one final fart joke on his tombstone. I really hope you have the photo here.
I don't, but it's I did. Well, I'll see if I can find it. But the epitaph was "Let her rip."
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's funny.
We talked about that, and I can't remember, but that he always had this
little
fart
fart
sound maker, like a whoopee cushion, or even a sound. I think it was something you could just push a button because he'd just be walking along and make fart sounds.
I think he went on. I think on YouTube. He went on Jay Leno and was just using it the whole time. And he just got a real kick out of that. Man knew what he liked.
Jerry Chandler also talks about prom night and
just by coincidence, I get to speak for my friend Jerry here. Leslie Nielsen and his lifelong love of whoopee cushions and fart machines, and then his afterlife long love. He had them engraved. He had them engrave his tombstone with "Let her rip."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you are. He's
after my own heart.
Yeah, he's putting a whoopee cushion under God's throne right now, even as we speak, up in heaven somewhere.
And Andy L on prom night. Chad.
Andy tells us, since you all mentioned that Leslie Nielsen had limited involvement with genre movies, I did want to bring up an interesting oddity he was starring in from 1965 called Dark Intruder. Yes. It was a non-picked up pilot for a series, so a 1-hour-long film where he plays a paranormal investigator in 1890 San Francisco with a secret lair who's called into investigation of gruesome murders by some kind of clawed beast. I watched it a couple of years ago on either Dailymotion or YouTube or something similar. Not a spectacular film, but definitely worth a watch, and did have the potential to be a good series. Yeah, I think it's still on YouTube, Andy, I think. As a quick comment on prom night, as others said, I definitely enjoyed prom night 2 more, and also have never watched 3 or 4 and likely never will. Take care, and as always, thanks to the crew for continuing to come out with entertaining autopsies of the classic and not so classic movies of the different decades. Live long and prosper.
I love the autopsies. Nice. I just don't think it would work to call it, horror movie autopsies. Would not add to the search and SEO things. So anyway, all right. Now we're on to Ghost Story from Mr. Glidehook, and this is a short one. I'll take it. Read the novel. It's terrifying, and you'll sleep with a nightlight for the rest of your life.
Oh,
it
should have been read the novel.
It's one of my favorite ones. Although I don't know if everybody agrees. Then Perfect Mask won, and we had Crystal.
Yep. What do you mean, no without warning for 2 months? Does that mean I have to watch it again? As for Ghost Story, my second time seeing this film, and I did enjoy it, although it would have been better with 15 minutes edited out. What
Okay.
15 minutes? What 15 minutes, Perfect Mask?
Any
What
15
15
minutes.
minutes?
No,
Random.
no. You people that
Uh,
don't like to get the
mhm.
story and the character development, I just don't get it. But I respect your opinion.
We'll save it for the Jeff cut.
Perfect.
Mm.
All right. Also, Ghost Story from Travis McDonald. Bill.
I totally agree with Crystal and Bill on Ghost Story. I'm going to stop right there.
Yep, that's enough.
Oh,
We don't need
It
any
says it
more.
all. The man
Yep.
knows. Travis McDonald
Travis
is
is
a
a
man
genius.
of rare perception. I totally
You're
agree
a
with Crystal and
scholar
Bill on
and a
Ghost Story.
gentleman.
Yes, right. I had never seen it, and I'm glad I finally did. It's definitely watchable, and the acting is great. Alice Krieg?
Kriega.
Yes.
Kriega.
Kriega. That's it.
Kriega
Yeah.
is a tonic for tired eyes. Here and there are some good scares, but the film is just so slow, and the story is often jumbled. As an 80s horror fan, I'm glad I finally got to mark this off the list. It's not a bad movie, but it had the potential to be so much better. I also recently watched TerraVision, as I've been on an Empire International Films kick of late. I know this has been on the wish list in the past, and I hope down the road you guys get to review it. I'm confident this will be met with more excitement than my past requests for Extro, Hell of the Living Dead, and The Raiders of Atlantis. Boy, I'm taking back everything I said about Travis McDonald. That's a triple feature of stinkers there.
See, I knew that was coming, so I said, keep talking, Bill.
Yeah. Sometimes I pick the wrong week to quit sniffing glue. Best wishes. Thank you, Travis.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
So, Jerry Chandler. Oh, I
What
missed.
is this?
You missed it, and it's an epic, too.
Chad.
Jeezy Pete. I thought the election would have kept him busy. We wouldn't get something like this.
Nope.
Okay. Jerry Chandler. Oh my God, Ghost Story. I love that movie. It would be interesting to see how much discussion was all about all the wild stuff from the book that was left out. After hearing the episode, she looks so young. She looks like a teenager. She looks like a kid. Nah, she looks like an adult. That whole looking like a kid from your POV thing just happens when you get old. Everyone a few decades younger than you starts looking like kids. Raiders of Atlantis. So there, everybody. Raiders of Atlantis, also known as Atlantis Interceptors, is awesome. Sounds like Elon Musk's next car. It's awesome. You should review it.
I'm trying to piece together these with what we were saying. Okay, yes, keep going. Let's see.
I agree with everyone here telling everyone else to read the book. And if you can't get reading time in, there's an okay done audiobook available through audible./amazon/// Okay. The movie ain't the book, but I do love the hell out of it. Yes, it's slow paced, and yes, it doesn't have a scare in it like some others, but the slow burn of the story unfolding as it does works for me. I think the only thing that doesn't work for me is the motivation of the ghost versus how she's treated in the story. In the book, it makes sense that the creature is treated as the bad guy. In the movie, the ghost is a murdered woman seeking revenge on the men who, even if accidentally, murdered her. She does get a little carried away as she reawakens her memories and begins to hunt everyone down, but she's still the murdered individual in the movie story. She has a legit reason to be vengeful here. The bad guys are the ones who not only killed her, but hid her body and kept the secret of her watery grave so that no one who knew her where she went, no one who knew her knew where she went, or even if she was shot dead or not. Yes. I'm adding words, leaving words out. I don't know what happened there. If this was a Western, her brother would have come to town somehow, having learned the secret, and set about killing the men, and been portrayed as the avenging anti-hero of the story. So I do find some problems with how they strip the book's story to its bones, and then tried to remake it, both following and not following the book. But it's still such a good movie. I like it having slow burns and limited but effective scares. I love the cast and how they made almost every scene so enjoyable to watch. And awesome wasn't popularized by this film. It began becoming more common in the way it's used here in the late 70s. Is that correct? Awesome
Okay.
wasn't popularized by this
Yeah.
film?
It
Okay.
became
Yeah, I think we
yeah,
discussed
because we
that.
talked about it,
We
that they
talked
said
about
the
it.
word. Yeah.
Okay. I remember now. It began becoming more common in the way it's used here in the late 1970s, and then surfer dude characters
I had no
film
idea it was used in the 70s.
and
Okay, that's
TV.
crazy.
started it taking off. I think the film most people attribute it to as having exploded in popularity was Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Spicoli using it so much.
Yeah, so we
I'm
were
a little
commenting
parched.
because the characters in the 1920s segment.
Yeah.
Said
Yeah, that's
awesome.
why I was
That's
like,
why
they
we were-
wouldn't. Yeah, I said that they wouldn't use the word awesome because they wouldn't use the word awesome.
Okay, so Robert Baker again, and just to reset this, we haven't done feedback for probably over a month, and Robert lives in Asheville.
Hmm.
So as
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
so
I'm
go
so
ahead.
sorry, Robert. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
Hope
he
everything's
talks about
okay
that a
now.
little bit here. So on Ghost Story, Crystal.
Okay, finally I'm able to listen again. Since it came up, I live in Asheville and got to spend 5 days and nights in the dark, courtesy of Hurricane Helene. 18 days later, as I am writing this, there's still no running water. Oh my God. Geez. But if you live here and still have a home, you're definitely one of the lucky ones. Yeah, that is so sad. Like that's crazy. What happened in Asheville is just so wild to me. Now on to Ghost Story. The way everyone feels about this movie is the way I have at different times in my life. Teen me that rented this from the video store was like Crystal. Later on, I read the book and then I felt like Jeff and Bill. But after rewatching this several times, I became like Chad. Ghost Story, as a book, has way too much going on to try to fit it into 2 hours. Seems I remember what the people of the town see is very different from each other when it comes to the creature. The atmosphere is what I enjoy the most in the film. And the music, I think, was an attempt to give this a very old school vibe. Now I am off to check out the other episodes I missed when I didn't have any internet connection. I hope that you have water and power and everything you need. I mean, I know you have power back, but like water, oh my gosh. And I hope your house is okay, Robert. I'm so sorry.
Let us know how you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert's had some trials and tribulations the last few months. Scott.
Asheville's beautiful too. It's too bad.
Yeah. From Scott Patz, Y2K, Bill.
I saw this film around 1990 when I was 20. I was excited when Don's college professor scenes came on as I recognized the campus immediately as Stetson University in DeLand, Florida. My teenage years were about 15 minutes away from there. Although I never attended that college, I spent plenty of time on campus with friends and then later on with my children's camps and music and dance. One of Stetson's distinguished alumni is Ted Cassidy, Lurch from the Addams Family. I know this is an extremely minute thread to the film, but felt this trivia fits well with many of your episodes. Haha. I am a pastor and also have a habit of chasing rabbits. Boy, that old chestnut. Thank you all for your banter. It reminds me of the conversations my brother and my friends used to have talking about movies, usually during the actual watching of them in the days before IMDb. Yeah, I get it. I mean, this is my family. You guys are as much my family as my family is my family, and I do love talking about these things. You always get that one brother who doesn't appreciate the subtle qualities of something like Cannibal Ferox. That would be Chad.
Chad likes some turds, though.
He sure does.
He does. Sure does. So, like, I mean, sometimes he's like some stuff that I was shocked that I found particularly trashy and good, and he didn't. So that's.
And then you got the little sister who likes basically everything.
Yeah, I do like.
Yeah.
There's a couple I haven't liked.
There's a few.
Like Nomads. I think Nomads was one.
Hey, there's a project for some of our viewers. Go listen to all of our things again. That'll keep you busy, and make like a little checklist on who liked the most things, and Crystal will have this big long list that goes on forever.
Really true. Yeah.
Chad's will
Jeff
be
have
a
that
bit
done
smaller.
before he goes to bed. tonight.
Almost as long as the list of movies that Crystal likes will be movies that Jeff has the DVD of.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. I think Crystal should read this one. This is from Gregory Crosby. Ghost story.
I was hoping this episode would begin with Crystal saying, "Dance with me, you little toad." And I was not disappointed. I'm with Chad on this one. I'm a fan of both the film, in spite of its flaws, and the novel, in spite of its flaws. The cast alone makes this work for me, especially Alice Krieger.
Kriega.
Okay, Bill, I'm never going to get it right
I know,
either. I
you
keep
and
wanting
I
to say
together.
Krieg.
I hope we don't meet her and screw it up.
I know, especially because who appears to be channeling the Borg Queen long before she became her. Oh my God, I know, right? She's like so stoic in this and just powerful. Like especially, I don't know how old she was here, but just she really did kind of command the screen.
It's like 26, I think, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she was great. And as a point here, Mikey Z says, Chad.
I saw this film opening weekend back in the 80s. I love this book. Figure out how I felt about the film. I have not seen it since. Great podcast, but one criticism, you didn't delve into Alice Krieger's accomplishments enough. Love you guys. Bill, some chicken soup for that cough.
Thank you. As you can see, I'm well healed. Finally.
We're tired of your criticisms, Mikey.
All right, we're almost done, folks. I know this has been a long chunk. All right.
I love it. This is fun.
Moving on to The Blob, episode 270 from Gregory Crosby. And I don't know, I think we're at Bill now because I reversed Crystal and Chad.
All right, that's fine. Gregory Crosby says of The Blob, truly one of the best remakes of all time and Exhibit A for the primacy of well-shot, well-made practical effects. A double feature of this and The Thing drives a stake through the heart of CGI. I've always loved this one, especially since a good friend of mine worked on it as a puppeteer. He's somewhere underneath one of those blob quilts. So great to hear Ralph Miller explain how much of this was done. Also, when I saw this in the theater, there was an audible gasp and groan when the sheriff's face appeared in the quivering mass against the phone booth glass. A fantastically effective scene. It's safe to say the only thing Chuck Russell's version of The Blob lacks is a catchy theme song.
Oh, agreed.
True.
I like the song that plays at the end of it, over the credits.
Yeah. Gregory emailed us about this person he knew that worked on the effects for the movie, but he is currently in Eastern Europe, I believe. And so there was going to be a time frame difficulty, and plus we already had Jeff and Ralph lined up, so might have been kind of overkill. All right, we have one from Jose. Chad?
Yay.
Jose says, "Oh, this one. I vividly remember seeing this when I was working at the video store. It's a marvel of nasty graphic gore, and I've always liked it. I always felt badly for Candy Clark and the sheriff. They seem kind of cute together. Yeah, I know. Like it might go someplace. Then the blob nabs him and surrounds the phone booth, and then it implodes in on her. You see her hair fly up toward the camera. This one has totally earned its cult reputation. Yeah, it's a great film."
Yep.
Yes, it is. We totally agree. Thanks, Jose. And lastly, from Travis McDonald, Crystal.
The Blob is both a great film and the best remake of a horror film. Great review here. Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know. The Thing is really good, and so is The Fly. I don't know that The Blob is the best. I think that's a trifecta for me.
Yeah, I'd probably give it to The Fly, but
yeah, I love The Fly. Oh my God. But I love The Thing too.
The Thing. Yeah, those are those three.
I don't feel like The Thing though. John Carpenter's Thing is a remake. I feel like it's a reinterpretation of the original novel.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense
Of
because
course.
Yeah.
But The Fly.
The Fly is a remake.
Yeah.
Mel
And
Brooks
it's
production.
excellent.
All right. We appreciate it from all of the people that commented. Travis, Jose, Gregory,
Yes,
Mikey,
that's a lot of people.
Scott,
it's awesome.
Pats, Robert Baker, scrolling, Jerry, as usual.
Yes,
Perfect mask. Mr. Glidehook. I don't remember this one before, so appreciate the comment. Andy L, Scott Wells, Lone Wolf, and I think that covers. Oh, JB
I think you did
was
Mikey
here.
and Jose. Yeah.
JB was here. So excellent. And y'all, we love your comments. And as you can see, we like to talk about them, and they remind us of things as well. So please leave comments. You can leave them on the Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel, just under comments, or you can come to the Gruesome Magazine's H&R and DOH podcast Facebook group, or even to the website, or you can send emails to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com. Also, we do have a Patreon group, and if you want to contribute just a few dollars a month, DOH will normally come out the day or two after it's recorded instead of 2 weeks when it goes public. Also, we are doing Kolchak, the Night Stalker, 70s TV series. All 20 episodes, 1 episode per episode, I guess. We just recorded episode number 15, so you get those. Those are exclusive to Patreon. All right. That's it for this episode, but every 2 weeks we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Next up, we tackle one chosen by Crystal, which is...
Oh, God. Wait. What did I do?
The Gate.
Not what it was. The Gate. The Gate. Jesus.
From 1987. I'm sorry, I forgot to put it in. So.
I forgot. I was like, wait a second. What did I choose? I totally forgot. Oh my God. Sorry. It was a while ago, y'all. There's a lot of things that have happened.
Yeah.
These things get worked out, ages ago. I don't know.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Yep.
And
sorry.
Yeah, so that looks like that will be fun. They have done it before, but it was like it was a while ago.
6 years ago, I think you said.
Yeah, with a different crew. So this will be fun. Kids, no parents. Mysterious hole in the backyard. Demons.
Like the pit.
Stop motion animation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And lastly, before we leave, I finally did get it.
There you are.
Letter. That's hilarious.
Leslie Nielsen's grave marker. Let her rip. All right.
That's fantastic.
Thank you guys for the reschedule. This is going to end. Apologize to Patreon folks. We couldn't get this one out to them because we're recording it 2 days before it's scheduled to go live. So we've had a lot going on, and once we couldn't make the original date, it got pushed. So, but we will get it out live on time, and we appreciate your patience. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. That's fun.
No worries, mate. No worries.
Yep.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Sayonara, suckers.
Gruesome Magazine.